don't take leave mom, because this course is very difficult. If you take leave means if you miss one class, the remaining things will be very tough to understand. That's why I insisting you everyone to join class before 5 minutes. Already put messages in group, but no one followed. Okay, no problem. It's your opinion. I hope the screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a Model 2 is based on 8051 peripherals. So in Model 1, we discuss about 8086 microprocessor. In Model 2, we going to discuss about 8051 microcontrollers. 8051 microcontrollers. What is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller? Anyone knows? Microprocessor contains ALU. It will perform arithmetic and logical operation by using ALU unit. And we have the control unit to send control signal, like doing the read operation, write operation. All these things are possible in microprocessors. And we have registers. While in the case of microcontrollers, here we have ALU, we have control unit and register, same what we have for microprocessors. So in microprocessor, we have no internal memory. Like we don't have internal memory. It contains internal, but in the case of microcontrollers, we have the internal memory. So we have the no interfacing circuits. We don't have any timers and counters. We don't have separate block for timers, separate block for counters in 8086. But in the case of microcontroller, we have a separate blocks for timers, separate blocks for counters, and we have different interfacing circuit. So we can able to connect stepper motors like DC motors and LCDs, LEDs, and ADC, DAC, different external block we can able to connect to the controller, and we can able to do different operation. For example, to display LED in the screen, we can able to interface external LCD, and we can able to display any informations by making use of the controllers. We have the timers, no? We can able to count different. We can able to count different numbers and able to supply a delay for a different operation. That's an input timer. We can able to apply delay to the controller. Okay. For example, if you want to electrical heater means if you want to turn on the heater for 30 minutes means timer will be used. Timer block will be used in controllers to count for 30 seconds to heat the water. Similarly, we need different external interfacing controllers. Microprocessor is mainly used for general purpose applications, and microcontrollers for specific purpose applications. Specific in the sense what? You can specifically used for some purposes. So example of microprocessor is a computer. So in our home, we have how many microprocessor, now how many microcontrollers we have? Any idea? Microprocessor means computers. In your home, you have only one computers or maybe sometimes two computers. But we have several controllers we have. In our home, we have several microcontrollers in our home. Can anyone say the example of microcontrollers? Microprocessor example is computer. What is the example for microcontrollers? In your home, you have multiple microcontrollers. Can anyone say the example for microcontrollers? Controller in the sense you can able to control something.
So all the remotes in our home.
Yes, no. TV remote, like set-top box, and like microwave ovens and fridge, and we have the washing machine. All contains microcontrollers. We have multiple microcontrollers in our home. We have the 2 or 3 microprocessor in our home. Microprocessor means computers. So, but we have multiple number of microcontrollers like TV remote, DTH set-top box, fan, fridge, washing machine, and the microwave ovens. All contains the controllers. So we need to know the process and operations involved in controllers, how to do operations, how to do control signals, all those things. This is the exam. This is the block for 8051 controllers. So it contains 8051 is a microcontroller. It contains a processor. It contains a memory. Memory in the sense we have two different memory, ROM and RAM, and we have input-output ports. So we have the timers and we have the serial port. This serial port will help you to transmit data to the external environment, external hardwares. You can able to transmit data serially. Serial transmission in the sense sending the data bit by bit. Parallel transmission means sending the bits parallelly in one clock cycle. So we mainly use serial port for transferring the data bit by bit to the external hardware device. So we use transmit pin to transmit the bits, zeros and ones, to the different external devices, and we use receive pin to receive data from external device to the controllers. For that, we need a serial port to get data into the processor and also from the controller to the outside world. So we need a receive pin to receive data and transmit pin to transmit the bit data one by one to the external device. So here we have memory. Memory, we have the internal ROM and internal RAM. So what is ROM? What is ROM? Anyone know? What is the expansion for RAM and what it will do? What is RAM? What is first? I will tell what is ROM and what is RAM. Anyone know what is the ROM?
Read-only memory.
Read-only memory. You can able to. Is it possible to do write and read both in ROM, or only read operation is possible?
Only read. So
read operation is only possible because read-only memory. The name itself, you know, you can able to do only the read operation, not able to do write operation. So the ROM actually contains programs. ROM actually contains the programs. So next we go for RAM. RAM stands for what? Random access memory. So it contains only the temporary data. Okay. And also ROM, we call this as a non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory. And RAM, we call this as a volatile memory. So anyone knows what is non-volatile and volatile? Internal ROM is a non-volatile memory. RAM is a volatile memory. So for example, if you switch off the power supply, whatever data stored inside the RAM will be erased. Okay. For example, you are doing some job. Suddenly the power is off. What will happen is whatever data, whatever details stored inside the RAM will be erased. That is volatile. Data is temporary. When you switch off the power supply, all the details data will be erased. That is volatile. So while in the case of ROM, it is non-volatile. That the program, that is details present inside the ROM is permanent. When you switch off the power supply, the data or details present inside the ROM is always permanent. It will not be erased. Is it clear what is RAM and ROM? Clear, Amma? Any doubts for RAM and ROM? Any doubts, Ma? Can I go to input? In 8051, we have the input and output ports. For example, if you want to apply the input to controller, we need a different ports. Port means it's a type of your line. So by making use of this line, we can able to apply input and we can able to get the output from the controller to the external device. So we have the 4 different ports we have: P0, P1, P2, P3. So each port contains 8 different lines. 8 different lines. So this port 0 contains 8 lines. 8 parallel input lines. Similarly, for port 1, we have 8 different parallel lines. Similarly, for port 3, we have 8 different parallel lines. Similarly, for port 3 also, 8 different parallel lines. Totally, we have how many input-output lines we have combined here? Port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. Each port contains 8 lines. Totally, we have how many
32.
modes? Totally, we have the 32 input-output lines. So here, port 8, port 0, 8 lines. Port 1, 8 lines. If you multiply 8 into 4, you get 32 input-output ports to apply the input to processor. After processing the inputs, the controller will do the output signal to the external device. You can connect any external device. You can connect keyboard, you can connect display, you can connect LED, LCD, stepper motors, DC motors, any external device. So you can apply input and you can able to check the output also. So we call this as a bidirectional bus. Why we call this as a bidirectional bus? Any idea? Bidirectional. Thinking. What does bidirectional stands for? Bidirectional means data will go into the processor as well as out of the processor. So data going into as well as from the processor. So both the transmission is possible. That's why we call it as a bidirectional input-output ports. Totally we have 32. We have the 4 different ports. Each port contains 8 different lines. Totally we have 32 input-output lines for transferring data and also for receiving the signal from the controller. Okay, here we have timers. So in 8051 we have 2 different timers. Each timer have 16-bit address. Here we have 2 16-bit timers. What is the need for timer? Timer means it will produce delay. Timer plays a major role in the 8051 controllers. It is mainly used by the programmers to produce a delay. For example, if you want to control a water heater means processor will inform the timer to switch on the water heater for 100 seconds. What timer will do? Timer will count the numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, likewise up to 100 different times. Okay, the timer will do the counting operation for 100 times. After completing the counting, it will inform to processor through signal. My job is over. So okay, that is a need for timer to switch on the external device and also for to switch off the external device to control. Okay, without timers we cannot be able to control, not to produce delay. How much time you want to control the external device to perform operation. To create a delay, we need timers. So in 8051 we have the 2 timers. They each have 16-bit addresses, and we have serial port block. For example, if you want to transfer the information bit by bit, serial in the sense transferring the data bit by bit. A bit in the sense it can be a 0 or 1. All the information will be transmitted in terms of a binary values, 0 and 1 to the external device through the receive pin as well as a transmit pin. So you know what is receive and what is transmit. Receive means data will be come into the controller. Transmit means data will be come from the processor to the outside device. That is transmit. So along with internal RAM and ROM, 8051 have external ROM as well as external RAM. So why we need external RAM and external ROM? So in 8051, internal ROM is of size 4 KB, and internal RAM is of size 128 bytes. So if you are doing a smaller programs, for example, remote control. So in order to make a program for remote control, we need this size of memory is enough to write program for remote control. To control the temperature of AC, we need this size is enough to write program for controllers. For example, if you want to write a bigger program, for example, if you need a bigger memory to store programs, to store data, we go for external and external ROM. It is optional. So if you want bigger memory, bigger programs, use external ROM. If you don't want to store bigger program, bigger data or something, so you can use only internal RAM or internal ROM to store programs and to store data. So which block will store data and which block will store programs, RAM or ROM? First tell, ROM stores which one, program or data? Hello?
ROM stores program, sir.
RAM stores?
Program.
ROM means it will store program. RAM stores data or program?
Data.
Data. For example, if you do a smaller program, use internal RAM and ROM. If you want to go for a bigger, if you want to make a bigger application, for that application we need a bigger memory. So you need the external RAM and external ROM. So for that purpose, you go for external RAM and external ROM. If you want to do a smaller program like a TV remote control, AC remote control, you can use only internal RAM to write programs to control external device. So sometimes we use external RAM and external ROM. Otherwise, we can use only the internal RAM and internal ROM to store program and to store data. So everything clear? Here,
serial port, sir.
Serial port in the sense to transmit the data externally, external devices. External device, we need a serial port communication. So why we don't use parallel port in the sense, parallel port we have the multiple lines, no? So if you connect, if you use a parallel port means the cost will be very high. So the serial port requires a single line to transmit data to the outside devices. But in parallel, if you use parallel port means we have the multiple lines to transmit data. So the cost is very high. Okay, so for that the programmers are mainly, so in practically most of the communications are serial. So we are transferring the data bit by bit to the external device. So 8085 prefers serial port to transmit the data serially to the external device. It will simply transfer the data bit by bit, the zeros and ones, like that get to the external device. So that we use serial port to reduce the number of pins, to reduce the cost of transmission. Because if you use parallel port means we need a multiple lines to transmit data parallelly. So to reduce the number of pins for transmission and also to reduce the cost of making device, we prefer serial port for transmission to connect the external device to transmit data, receive data, all those things. Clear?
What is this RxD and TXD, sir? Then
RxD stands for receive, TXD stands for transmit.
okay,
Clear,
sir.
no? Okay, so here microcontroller contains a processor, memory, a serial port, timers, input-output ports. All the blocks are integrated into the in a single chip. Integrated in the sense combining all the blocks together and put it in a single chip is integration. So 8051 contains a inbuilt internal processor, internal memory, internal timer, and internal input-output ports and serial port for transmission. So if you want to connect external RAM and ROM, we use separate pins for, to access external ROM and RAM. So this thing I will explain with different pin description and discussing memory authentication of 8051. Up to the concept is clear, right? What is memory, what is input, or how many input-output ports, how many timers we have in 8051. Is everything clear? Make sure that the size of the internal ROM is 4 KB. The size of the internal RAM is 128 bytes. Okay, this thing is very important. They will ask me in MCQ, what is the size of internal ROM? 4 KB. Size of the internal RAM is 128 bytes. This memory is enough to store program for TV remote control, microwave ovens like water heater to control the temperature of water heater, all those things. As I already discussed, all the theories are they used in appliances like we don't control refrigerators, microwave ovens, modems, they use controllers. And also 8051 is a 8-bit controller. Because it contains a 8-bit data bus. It contains a 8-bit data bus. It performs 8-bit ALU. So it will perform the 8-bit arithmetic operation. Because why we call 8051 as a 8-bit controller means it have a 8-bit data bus. It will perform 8-bit arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So the size of the controller will depend upon the size of the data bus. If you have a 8-bit data bus means it is a 8-bit controller. So the address bus size of the 8051 is 16-bit address bus. 16-bit address bus and 8-bit data bus for 8051. So 8051 contains 8-bit data bus and 16-bit address bus to transfer address, to transfer data, to find location and also to store data. And internal ROM contains 4 KB of memory and internal RAM contains 128 bytes of memory. Okay, we prefer serial port inside the controller for long distance communications. Here we have two 16-bit timers. So the timer is, the need for timer is to produce a delay, hardware delay. So to control external device, how much time we want to control the external device, what to do, all those things. By making use of this timer, we can able to control all the external device. So here we have 8-bit bidirectional input-output ports. So here we have 4 different ports, P0, P1, P2, P3. So each port contains 8 different lines to do inputs and also to get output from the controller. Next, we go for a pin diagram of 8051. Pin diagram, here we have the 8051 contains 40 pins to do the different operations. Okay. See that here how many pins are available here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we have 8 lines. 8 lines, 8 pins. Let's say here these are all the input output ports. I already told each port contains how many lines. Port 0 contains how many lines. Port 1 contains, these are all the input output ports, port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. So each port contains how many lines? See here, each port contains how many lines? 8 lines or 10 lines? Each port contains how many lines? Please respond, I will complete syllabus. Each port contains how many lines? 8 lines or 10? 8 lines. Totally we have how many ports we have? 4 different ports for input output to give input to controller and also to get output from the processor. So totally we have how many pins we have? 8 plus 4, 32 pins. Totally we have 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Here we have 40. Totally we have 40 lines. Here we have alternate function of port 3. So here port 3 will act as a input port as well as output port. This port will do 2 different alternate functions. What it is? First function is it will do the input output operation and also it will do this type of 8 different operations. So the one person is doing 2 different jobs. Like this, likewise, port 3 will act as a input output port, and also it will act as a serial port, interrupt ports, timer inputs, control signals. So here, port 3.0, totally we have 8 different lines. Port 3.0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Totally we have 5 different lines for port 3. So port 3 will act as a input output port, and also it will do alternate function. It will be these ports are used for receive, transmit, and interrupts to give the clock input to primers and also to do read operation, write operation. First, we will see what is XLAT and XLAT1, all those things. XLAT1, XLAT2 is used to apply the clock input to the controllers. This XLAT1, XTAL, XTAL2 will act as a crystal oscillator. It will generate a clock signal to 8051 controller. So 8051 contains a program. Program is nothing but what? It is a group of instructions. The controller will execute the instructions one by one. It will do the operations likewise from first operation, second operation, third operation. At the end of each operation, controller needs a clock. Without clock, microprocessor will not do the next operation. We will need to trigger the processor to do the next operation. That's why we need a clock. Without clock, and no operation is possible. So similarly, for example, I gave assignment to you. What we will do, you see the message. Yeah, if I don't trigger means, if I don't inform the in group so many times without informing, you will not do any job. So after putting so many messages only, you will start proceeding your assignments, submitting to the TCR. Likewise, microprocessor also do the same functions what you did for submitting assignments. So after finishing the first operation, it will be go to wait state. So if you want to trigger the controller to do next operation, we need a clock. So the clock will trigger the processor to do the next operation. That's why we need a clock inputs, clock pins. This XTAL, XTAL2, this will act as the clock pins to supply a clock signal to the controller. So the clock frequency here is 12 MHz. This will apply a 12 MHz clock signal to controller to trigger the operation. This will trigger controller to do new operation. Clear what is clock?
Sir, repeat once again, sir.
For example, the clock is used to trigger the controller. Trigger in the sense, this will inform the controller to do the new operation. So for example, we have the instruction. Instruction contains different operations. Like after performing first operation, the controller goes to the normal state. It will not do the next operation. It will need to trigger. Trigger means we will need to inform the processor to do the next operation. So in order to inform the processor to do the next operation, we need a clock. So without clock, it will not execute next operations. So in order to apply the clock to the controller, we need two pins, XTAL1, XTAL2. This will apply the clock to the controller to do the next operation. The clock frequency we used for 8051 here is 12 MHz. Clear? Clear, ma? What is the need for clock?
Sir, like what is the use of that one, sir? Like
XTAL, ma, pins. This will apply the clock, ma. So clock means this will inform the controller to do the next new operation. So without information, without giving signal to controller, we will not do any new operation. Controller will not do new operation. It will not fetch a new instruction. It will not do any operation. So in order to after applying the clock only, it will start do operation for next instruction. Okay, for every instruction, the clock signal will do clock to the controller to trigger, to inform. Clear? Clear? Puriyama?
Sure.
Okay, reset in the sense what? Reset in the sense to initialize the program to initial state. Okay, whatever is volatile inside the controller, it will be erased. Whatever is non-volatile, it will be permanent. Which one is volatile and which one is non-volatile in 8051? I already told 8051 contains internal RAM and internal ROM. So after resetting, which data will be erased, which one is permanent? And the data stored inside the RAM will be permanent or it will be erased. After resetting, I told no, 8051 controller has a internal RAM, internal ROM. Whatever is volatile, the data will be erased. Which one is volatile, RAM or ROM? Volatile means data will be erased after you switch off the power supply. Which one is volatile, which one is non-volatile, RAM or ROM?
RAM is volatile, sir.
RAM is volatile. So whatever is stored inside the RAM will be erased after you switch on, after you reset the pins. Reset means switch off the power supply, and you are getting the initial state. So data stored inside the RAM is temporary. So when you reset it, data present inside the RAM will be erased, and data stored inside the ROM will be permanent. So it will not be erased. Okay, this is the need for reset. Okay, clear? What is need for reset?
It is used to clear the data in RAM, sir.
RAM, yes.
Yes, sir.
So next one is ALE. We already discussed in 8086 what ALE will do. What is ALE stands for? In maximum mode and minimum mode, we discussed ALE. What is the need for latch?
It is like for storing the data. Addresses, sir. Addresses it will store.
Address. If ALE stands for address latch enable. If address latch enable pin goes to 1, the bus carries address or data. ALE stands for address latch enable. If ALE pin is 1 and ALE pin is 2, what the controller will do? If address latch enable pin is 1, the bus available in 8051 carries address or data. The name itself clearly told address latch enable. This will enable the address. When the address latch enable pin goes to 1, and the bus, these are all the bus, input output bus. This bus will carry the addresses, and it will apply the address information to the external device. And if the address latch enable pin goes to 0, the bus carries which one? Address or data?
Data, sir, if it is 0.
Yes, keep in mind, it is very important. If ALE pin is 1, the bus carries address. If ALE pin goes to 0, the bus will carry data. Now, this is similar to what we discussed in 8086. Okay, clear? Next, we will go for, so just left this pin. I will explain this pin after finishing all the remaining pins. Okay. VCC is used for what? It will supply the 0 volt and 5 volt to processor. This is used to supply the processor to give power to operate. VSS in the sense ground. And we have the 4 different ports: P0, P1, P2, P3. What it is? These are all the input output ports. So each port contains how many lines? How many lines? 8 lines, right? Each port contains 8 lines.
8 lines.
To give input to processor and also to get data from the processor. This port 0 will do two alternate function at a time. So port 0 will access your input output ports, and also it will access your address bus, and also it will access your multiplexed address bus as well as data bus. So in 8051, we have how many data bus and how many address bus? How many bits for data bus and how many bits for address bus? In 8051, we have in 8051, we have how many bits for data bus and how many bits for address bus? In 8051, we have 8 bit for data bus and 16 bit for address bus. So in order to get 8 bit data from the processor, we need how many pins for address, how many pins for data bus here? We need how many pins to get data from the processor, data from the controllers?
One data pin.
One data pin. So one data pin contains how many lines? 8 different lines. So one is AD0 to AD7. So it will, this pin will capture 8-bit data from the controller, right? D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Totally, this pin can able to get 8-bit data from the controller. And also this pin carries which one? A stands for what?
Address.
Address. Here 8051 contains how many bits for address?
16.
16 bits. 16 bit. So this pin carries how many address lines? AD7 to AD0. It carries how many bits for address?
8, sir.
A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. 8-bit address for address. Remaining 8-bit for address will be given by which pin? See the pin.
Other pin.
Other pin, that is port 0 will give the remaining 8-bit address for 8051. So this address pin will carry the lower byte address for address bus. This 8 different line will carry the higher byte address for address bus. For example, if the address location is 1234, this one is higher byte, this one is lower byte. So lower byte will be stored in which pin? This one is lower byte, this one is higher byte. This one is 16-bit address bus.
Port 0.
For example, address bus contains 16-bit. No, this is a memory location I want to access. So the lower byte of the address will be get from the port 0, because this contains 8-bit address bus. This will have the lower byte of address, and remaining 8-bit of higher byte will be stored in which port? That means port 0, port 2. So this will do 2 different alternate functions. This port 0 will access the input-output port. Also, this will do the address. This will also access the address bus to get higher byte of the address bus. Okay, clear? We have the 4 different ports. Each port contains 8 lines. Port 0 will access the input-output port, and also it will access a multiplexed address and data bus. Multiplexing means what? What is multiplexing? Combination of it contains both address as well as data bus. Okay. Here we have a normal address bus to capture the higher byte of the address bus. So here we have the port 3. So port 3 will also contain 8 different lines. It will access the input-output ports, and also it will do alternate function. So the single pin will do 2 different works. It will access the input-output port, and also it will do the alternate function of port. What is the alternate function of port 3? See here, port 3.0 is first line. Port 3.1 is second line. Port 3.2, here we have 8 lines. That is,
Sir, what is the use with this port 1, sir? Port 1.0.
Port 1, it will simply access the input-output port. It will not do any other alternate operation. So port 0, port 2 will access, we will do 2 different alternate operations. Port 1 will simply access the input-output port. It will simply give the input and get the output from the controller. It will do only one job at a time. Port 1 will not do 2 alternate functions. Okay. But port 0 and port 3, see here, it will do how many alternate functions we have? It will do 2 different alternate functions. It can either access a input-output port, or otherwise it will access a multiplexed bus. It will give data, it will give address. When the bus carries address, only when the address latch enable pin goes to 1. When the address latch enable pin goes to 0, the bus carries which one? Bus carries which one? When the address latch goes to 0, bus carries data. So that's why we need a ports. To get data, to get address, we need a ports. And also to apply the input value to the controller, and also to get output value from the controller, we need a input-output ports. Similarly, port 3 will access a input-output port, and also it will do the alternate function of port 3. What is the alternate function of port 3? So we have the 8 different lines, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Totally we have 8 different lines for port 3. We mentioned this as a port 3.0, port 3.1, likewise up to 3.7. So it will access a serial port. I already told what is serial port. It will transfer the data bit by bit to the external environment. So why we use serial port? Parallel port, we have multiple pins. It's very difficult to connect to a long distance communication, because we have a controller, we have the external device. So it will take some extra wires to connect to external devices. So if you use parallel port, means it will consume more amount of area. We need a multiple lines to send data parallelly to the external device. So if the cost is high, so it will consume more amount of area. So we need a compact device. So the mainly 8051 simply uses serial port to transmit data from the controller to the external device, and also to receive data from external device to the controller. We need transmit device, we use receive device to get data and also to apply the data out to the processor. That is for serial port. The port 3.0 to port 3.1 will act as a receive device and transmit device to do data transfer. Port 3.2, port 3.3 will act as a interrupts. I told no interrupts already. For example, you are executing the instructions one by one. What will happen? Suddenly interrupts will come. This will pass the current instruction. It will go to the subroutine program called interrupt service routine. So it will execute the subroutine program. After executing the instruction, we have the instruction called iReturn, interrupt return. So after completing subroutine program, it will again come back to the main program to execute remaining instruction. So this interrupt is mainly used for checking the errors, like a divide error, overflow error, like breakpoint errors, and different errors. If any error occurs during the executing a program, it will go to the subroutine and check for the errors, and it will give the feedback to the main program. That's why we need the interrupts. Okay, and then we have the timer inputs. Timer inputs means I already told 8051 contains here two 16-bit timers. What is the need for timer? Timer will give the delay to the processor, not to apply the delay, or to count the sequence for a number of times. If you want to timers to count for 100 times, timer will count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 100 times. For each counting, we need a clock. For each counting, for example, timer counts initially 1, so then it will go to 2. So if you want to go to the second count, we need a clock to timer. So without clock, timer will not count next number. For that, we need these pins P0, P1 to apply the clock input to timers. To apply the clock input to timers to count the numbers 1, 2, 3 up to infinite number of times. For each counting, for 1 to 2, it needs a clock. Without clock, timers will not count the sequence from. For example, if I want to count 100 means, controller will inform the timer to count 100. Timer will count 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise up to 100 times. For each counting, the timer will need a clock. So in order to apply the clock to the timer, we need a T0, T1 pin to supply the clock. Okay. Clear? Clear, ma? Clear, Puridapa? Everything clear?
Sir, time is okay, sir. This VCC and VCS can you say, sir?
VCC, VSS.
Yes, sir.
VCC is for supply, ma. For example, in LAC, we know operational amplifier. What is plus VCC and what is this is used to apply power? No. Likewise, controller will need a power to operate. Without power, how the controller will do the operation?
Okay.
In order to apply the power, we need a VCC and VSS for grounding. Clear?
And this PCN, sir? PS.
I will explain after discussing these two things.
Okay.
So I will first teach what is EA bar. EA bar stands for external access. External access. For example, if EA bar is 0, I told no, the controller will contain here internal ROM and internal RAM, external ROM as well as external ROM, external ROM and external RAM. For example, if the pin EA bar, if the pin EA bar goes to 0, the controller 8051 controller will use external RAM and external ROM to store program, to store data. So the program is stored in ROM, data is stored in the RAM. So if the external access pin bar active low pin goes to 0, the controller 8051 will use external RAM, external ROM to store programs in ROM, to store data in RAM. This will discard the internal RAM and discard the internal ROM. This will not use internal RAM and internal ROM to store program and data. The entire ROM and entire RAM will be accessed only from the external device. Clear? Clear? Purida? Purida pa?
Yes, sir.
So if you use external access pin equal to 0, the processor will not use internal RAM, internal ROM. This will simply discard. This will use only the external RAM to store program in ROM, to store data in the RAM. Clear? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
If external access pin goes to 1, the processor will use internal ROM, internal RAM. External
Sir,
RAM
like
will
what will be the use of this one, sir? External RAM and RAM?
For example, if you are going for a bigger application, you need a bigger memory to store program and data. For that, you will not store bigger programs data in the internal ROM. Say here internal ROM size is only 4 KB, and internal RAM is of size 128 bytes. You cannot store bigger programs in internal RAM and ROM. So if you need a bigger storage, bigger program, bigger data, we need the external RAM and ROM to store data, to store program. So if you enable external access pin active low pin to 0, this will use the controller will use external RAM and external ROM to store programs in ROM and to store data in the RAM. So the external access bar pin goes to 1. This will use the internal RAM only. The external ROM will be used only after the internal RAM ends. When the external enable pin goes to 1. What will happen in the sense after the internal ROM memory size is finished, this will use the external ROM to store program and data. Purida?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So for example, if you have an Android phone, we have the internal memory. So why we use external memory card to the mobile phones? So after after storing a lot of data in the internal memory, it will start store data in the after finishing data completed in internal memory. It will start storing data, videos in the external memory. Likewise, if you enable the external access pin goes to 0, the controller will use only the external RAM and external ROM to store programs and data. If external access pin goes to 1, initially it will use internal RAM and ROM to store programs and data. After the size is finished, memory is elapsed, this will use external RAM and external ROM to store the remaining data and remaining programs and data. Clear? Clear? Puridapa, what is the need for external access pin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Remaining peoples? Puridapa.
And for this XTAL1, it will give the input, no, sir?
Yes. So see here we have the crystal oscillator like this. This will simply give the clock to the controller.
Is that you given 12 megahertz, no, sir? What is that one?
Which one, ma? Which one, Akhil?
For the clock, sir. For the clock one.
Yes. These pins are XTAL1, XTAL2. These are the pins used by controller to get the clock, to apply the clock to the processor. This pin is connected to the crystal oscillator, like XTAL1, XTAL2. This pin will create a clock. This will generate a clock and it will given as input to the controller. Okay, what is the need for clock? It will help. It will trigger the controller to do the next new operation. Okay. Pridapa, till this will simply apply the clock.
Yes,
that's it. Don't need to go deeply. Okay. So next one is remaining one is the program status enable pin. PSEN stands for program status enable pin. So here we have the read operation, write operation. Why we need read operation, write operation? So for example, read in the sense data will be go into the processor. Reading means reading the data from external device to the processor. Writing means data will be go out to the processor. Data will be go out to the processor. So if you want to, For example, the how much external memory we can able to access, how many external memory you can able to use for external RAM and external ROM. That will be decided by the size of the address bus. So what is the size of address bus here? What is the size of the address bus? What is the size of
These are
address
16
bus?
bits.
16 bits.
16.
The maximum memory size that we can able to access externally here is 64 KB. 64 KB for external RAM, 64 KB for external ROM. How the numbers will come? See here. So here we have the 16-bit address bus. Totally we have 2 power 6 address location. That means 2 power 6 into 2 power 10. 2 power 10 here is 1 KB. 2 power 6 is how much? 2 power 6 is 64, right? Totally, we can able to access 64 KB of external ROM and external ROM to the controller. So based upon size of the address bus, we can able to connect the external RAM and external ROM size. For example, in your phone, we have the internal size of 64 KB. In the mobile, that means the mobile database, we already told we can able to expand up to 128 GB. So how they mention the number of expandable memory up to 128 GB based upon the size of the address bus. If the size of the address bus is 16-bit, the maximum memory you can able to connect externally for RAM and ROM is 64 KB. 64 KB for external RAM and 64 KB for external ROM. Okay. Puridappa. So we will discuss these things on Monday. Okay. Up to I think there is no doubt from your side. We will discuss remaining concepts on Monday. I mean, audible, ma? Hello?
Yes, sir, audible.
Up to what we discussed is clear, no? What is 8051 controller? What are the different types of blocks available? And pin description of 80 and 8051. Is everything clear? Just type your response in chat box. I need to know.